Hello, buddy. Welcome to a new week of Cow Daily. This is at its usual regular time of whenever my sleeping pattern allows it. Just on that, I'm going to be, I think, starting to do these a bit earlier in the day as we go forward, certainly in the short term. Just not sleeping well at all. Had a look at my sleep stats on my iPhone, and I've averaged 4 hours a night for the last 2 months. That's not a good thing. That's like obviously since the crash. So there's obviously something going on there. And I'm experiencing night sweats and things like that. I'm not going through the menopause, I don't think. So we're all right. It's not a problem. So anyway, I assume nobody's getting a notification today because nobody's joining the stream. So that's all right. Um, I'll just bash on, get this done. And we'll just take it from there. I'm obviously going to talk a little bit about the Facebook page, what's happened with that, bit of other stuff as well. So shouts to if you're listening to this on the playback, which I assume you are. Right, I'm just going to go to these housekeeping things. A lot of the stuff we're going to be doing is going to be moved over to the community tab, which is on youtube.com/cow daily. That's youtube.com/cow daily. There we will be putting most of our Facebook posts and just kind of migrating a lot of the stuff over to there for reasons already expressed in some of the shows last week. Also, if you want to support our work, go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/cow daily. Also, there's a link in the description for PayPal if you want to make one-off donation. Got it at the end there. Nice one. See, people are joining the stream now. This one I haven't actually, for the first time, like put it out on Facebook, so a bit of an experiment. I think the page will be back up later. It's on some auto shut off, but to be honest, I don't care. Like, I'll explain why in a bit. See who's in the comments. El Boido's in. Got the notification. Cool, man. Nice one. Bob's in. YouTube gave it a notification. Cool. Obviously, it's not as many as usual. A bit of an experiment, but apologies to the people who normally tune in. As I said at the top of the show, I think we're going to start doing these a little bit earlier in the day and other things, rah, Facebook, other things. So if you would share the stream, that would be appreciated. Cheers, chaps. All the best. A few things I wanted to do. We're going to obviously do a bit of a news roundup just to start the week off, but I wanted to focus on some nice things as well that have meant a lot to us as I took a little bit of a sort of deactivation break from social media over the weekend. Really kind. This from Sunshine Cooperative. If you want to get your news that's not been tarnished by anyone remotely billionaire like, I said, I'm sure I've got no like. Go and give Mike a follow. He's a good friend of Sunshine. We are indeed, and I appreciate you sharing the show. Really appreciate that. It absolutely helps, but also your kindness is the most important thing, mate. Thank you. Really gives a lift this weekend. Somebody messages, my family members who are Ukrainian are all black and in Kiev, but are staying strong as well as can be. I just want to say that the work you're doing at the moment, fighting against fascism in the UK, is the most important work you'll ever do in your life. And I respect you for doing it. I've replied, love you, man. Hope you and your family stay beautiful. That means the world to us because this has been really, really, really hard recently. Just obviously like a lot going on in my personal life, as you're aware. When is that not? But like, yeah, it's been particularly tough the last couple of months. Crash and dog getting his leg amputated and other things too. And things having to take on some of the things that we're taking on at the minute, particularly myself, which I don't normally isolate myself in this. I always talk about we's, but I will in this case because of what the guy said there. It's tough. It's really hard because, you know, if you go up against fascism, guess what happens? You get targeted. So, yeah. You also get targeted if you go up against the enablers of fascism, as we'll explore later on in this particular show. So, just want to thank that guy. Really appreciate it. And blessings to your family out there. Shout also to Naveed Nazir. On somebody else's page, he's linked, I think, a question for what other podcasts he'll listen to or pages. He's linked us. Very kind of you. Thank you, Naveed. Really appreciate that kind of thing. And it helps to get the word out in the fight against fascism and just general the forces of beige centrism, mainly. One of the things I wanted to pull up as well, and this is why I took a deactivation break, one of the reasons anyway. I don't know how what's on screen anyway for audio people is 2 people and 417 others mentioned you in their comments. And think about it like this, right? Say 400 people, right? I don't know if that's in an hour, a morning, a day. I don't know how it's worked out, but like anyway, it's a lot, even if it is a day, but probably less than that. Think about that amount of people coming up to you and say half a day, just average it out, and they wanted to talk to you, or they wanted to like give you have your response. And if you miss it or you don't give your response, then automatically for some you're a shill, or you're missing the, or you're not replying, or you're jumping out of the debate. You must be this, that, and the third, and it just gets on your nerves. And then it gets to you, and then it wears on you, and then it's like, you have to take a break, and then you do, and then it's not enough, and then you have to deactivate, and that's not healthy. Yeah, it's not healthy for any of us. That, and it had to be honest with you, it wasn't just about me having a break; it was about giving you a break as well. Things were getting spicy. Like sometimes I'm gonna have opinions that some people virulently don't like every day. But I'm sure you can understand if you're having sleep deprivation, you've got a lot of family stuff that you're just dealing with, and then you're coming online, and it's just like that amount of attention. It's hard. So it's about getting the balance right for me sometimes, and I went a bit too far the other way. I should have took a break sooner. So I just wanted to cut that out and illustrate that. And I thank everybody for all of the, like, I don't know what it is, engagement, but also at the same time, I'm not bothered about like the engagement and this, that, and the third. I just want to do good work. And I think we are. So yeah, I mean, it's another one of the reasons why I'm moving a lot of how I engage with people in the written word over to the YouTube, just because it's smaller at the minute. It's not as big, you know. I hope for it to be, because it will be monetized, and like the best will in the world. Like, you know, if this was pulling in more money than it is, then it would kind of offset some of that abuse. And that's the wild thing about the world. You'd be able to like sort of justify taking that level of abuse off absolute dafties yourself. And oh, by the way, there's people on the screen. There's no suggestion that that's them. It was just people mention this for a variety of different things. But over 400 in however many, I don't know, an hour, half a day, whatever. It's just it got too much, particularly like when things are spicy in it. I deal with spicy topics because I feel like we have to, and sometimes I have to feel like really out and alone because of it. But you know, that's what I chose to do. So you know, I take that on board. But I just wanted to say why I decided to deactivate without warning this weekend. Just had enough. Literally, just had enough of the whole everything of it. My brain was overstimulated, and I've got responsibilities at home, and sometimes you just gotta focus on your people, haven't you? Your family. So anyway, thanks to something that put me head on straight about, I was just going to deactivate it for good. But I remember somebody saying this to us. It was Paul Macarena. I understand why you want to leave Facebook, but I only found you because of it. Keep up the good work. I responded, thank you, brother. I just think there's a balance to be had. I just don't know what it is. I appreciate your kindness, and it's gratefully received. Have a top day. There's a balance. It's clearly our biggest platform for the minute. We hope that to be monetized one soon, and I do have to get a balance. And I also understand that it's as Paul says there, it's a way for people to find their work, and that's obviously a great thing. That's a nice thing, but it's just at the minute just a bit much, bit too much. Just trying to like help me dog back on his feet, literally and figuratively, and just find a way to get more than 4 hours sleep a night. It's crazy, man. And then obviously, you know, last but not least, I had a pretty bad road crash. Could have died in it, and I'm just coping with that whilst trying to like do all the other shit which I couldn't do. So as you can see, still got the tape on my arm. Pissed off, really. And you know, you could, as Sunshine said at the start, come here for your news, but you know why else you're here? We're talking, we're a community, we're going to be truthful, and this is how we're feeling. Well, it's how I'm feeling right now. Shite. So, all right, let's have a look at some more. Nice, just really nice comment. Thanks, MS. Mr. Cowell said, well, bloody said, anyone watching on YouTube, please help bless the algorithm with a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification. I should probably say it more, but I don't. So thank you, MS. But please do bless us with all of those things. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're on the playback, please go to www.youtube.com/cowdaily and do it there. It really does help, and what it does, it makes the work more visible to other people. The algorithm likes that. I'm also in there in the comments, and to be honest with you, I think I'm going to be dipping out of Facebook a lot more now. So just if you want to chat, jump on the YouTube comments. It's just more chilled for now anyway. There's bound to be some fucking troll cunts who get involved. Yes, 10 minutes I said cunt, and that's all right. 5 minutes has elapsed. We're dancing. Anyway, see what's in the comments. Somebody's offering promotion of the channel. No. How about that? Go away. Zoe's saying, my God, a notification. I know. Slaza's saying, no notification for me. Sorry, mate. Right, we'll do the notifications first. I think what I'm going to start doing is doing it at a regular time in the morning. Because I'm waking up so early with this sleep deprivation, I'm just sitting waiting for it like by noon, and it's like for me it just feels like it's sort of 7 o'clock at night and I'm flagging. So I'm just like multiplied loads of bad nights of sleep really. So I think I'm probably going to go like 10:30. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to let this sort of settle out. But if you don't get notifications, then you'll definitely obviously know what time it is, and we'll get it regular. I've been obviously wanting to do that since the crash, but it's not been possible because of the various injuries and things. But you know, David Hockney, I got a notification that helps. It does. I'll tell you what else would help if you could tell us like how long after the start of the show, because it's obviously not been streamed to Facebook today. I just can't be asked to turn that page back on. It'll come back on automatically, I think. But whatever's in it. Slice is saying, I pressed the bell icon to inform me. It worked at first, then just stopped. It's kind of weird. Did you click all as well? Because I think there's all, custom, and then none. So I don't know if that works, but we'll work it out. No worries. Bob's saying, got to look after your own mental health. Got to come first, Bob, man. And you've been a big support over the months as well. I appreciate you. But I mean, I'm all right. It's just lack of sleep. I'm not particularly like wrecked in the head more than any other time. It's like kind of, it's just kind of like cumulative lack of sleep, and then having to deal with like injuries and just getting ill really as a result of that. You know, you're going to get ill with that after a while, and then the layered on stress of the dog and everything, and then trying to make a show when your body doesn't physically work to do it, and then your brain's like back to the brain fog. It's been shit, but we're coming out the other end of it. And I just like, well, I suppose what I'm saying this weekend, I paused, reflected. I did 4 out of 5 days, which is generally what the Cow Daily routine is. And I just thought, yeah, you got to change this. You can't be sitting waiting until 12 o'clock and just stressing yourself more. Just get it done. You know what I mean? So that's what it's been. So yeah, youtube.com/Cow Daily. Facebook, fuck it, man. Seriously, what a head buster. But sadly, we're going to have to keep using it for a while just to get our work across to people, as the lad there said in the things. So there you go. That's what we're doing. Anyway, I think it's a day which we haven't had for a while for your friend and mine, the Dino Kid.
Hey,
back.
You'll slip. I won't fall. Maybe I will. That's okay, 'cause we all fall. Have fun, Dad. Well, let's go down this big old hill. Wee woo! Wee woo! Wee woo! Woo!
Hey, what kind of dinosaur are you?
Tyrannosaurus! I'm a Stuckosaurus.
That's right, kid. We're all Stuckosauruses every time I play that, I have to say it. But, you know, we like it. Lovely Dino Kid. It's a shame that the planet's dying and we no more snow. Sorry, everybody. That was a nice thing, and I've ruined it. Right, anyway, here's some more things that aren't that nice, but what you gonna do? Straight out the belt. Who's this? Oh God, it's Dave Baddiel thinking he's funny again. What if match of the day turns out to be better without commentators and pundits? He said, belying his like barely concealed right-wing Toryism there, but doing it in that really, really. Oh, is he really meaning that way? Anyway, Rabface in the riposte of the year, you could do it dressed up like Ian Wright. Bang. That should be the finish of Baddiel, the person who, for some reason, is now an apparent authority, in inverted commas, on anti-racism, whilst doing all the blackface things back in the day. And I'm not really convinced yet. Yeah, sorry, pal, for loads of reasons. But anyway, what a reply. This is the thing I wanted to talk about, and it's relating to the area I'm from, which is the northeast of England, specifically Tyneside, Newcastle. And it was a comment from my local paper, and it's Shearer is and always was my hero, but when he stoops this low to help his mate out, I have had a change of heart. Lineker is guilty of the betrayal of his country and siding with foreign illegal men who are draining our resources. God. We're a small country and can't afford to sustain this influx of foreigners. Let Lineker and his cronies take a couple of dozen each in their homes. I mean, he's took a few, to be fair to Lineker. Don't think so. No, he's done that, actually. If Putin's war escalates, are these foreigners willing to fight for us? Don't think so. Debatable. I think some of the Afghan interpreters, if you would have let them in the country, would have probably done. But what's this conflation with the armed forces like? That's a mad escalation in things, isn't it? But it's been like that for a few years. So anyway, just wanted to sort of point that out about, I don't know if it's like that where you are, right? But where I'm from, I'm getting pretty sick and tired of this racism thing just being waved through. And obviously we'll do everything that we can to offset that, like where we're from and beyond, hopefully. But it's just this lazy thing to the level, right? And Shearer, where I'm from, is just like, it's just, he's a concept, he's a thing, you know? I mean, I personally don't like him as a man, but that goal against Everton, the volley, geez, what a goal that was, man. What a beautifully struck football that was. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. Just put Shearer Everton volley. Wonderful. Bit of a dafty, but he's come out like sound for his pal Lineker, whatever. If people in Newcastle are willing to disavow Shearer, and there's a bloke underneath there who was willing to do it too, then there's an absolute rabbit out with propaganda. Because honestly, like if you've got any concept of like how that man is revered, it's just crazy. Now even Shearer's a traitor to these mugs. It's just crazy. And for me, it's the reputation of my city has never been in the gutter more than now. And I think people shouldn't be scared to say it. Like what's going on with the football club and all of this kind of just shite. Like this racism, this. And the thing is, it's not everybody by any stretch, but I tell you what the problem is. There's not enough of us speaking up against it. So this is an open request, demand to people who might be sitting on the fence and getting spelks about whether you should like be challenging this type of stuff in our city, in your workplace, anywhere you find it. The answer is you should, because if we don't, we've seen what happens in history, haven't we? And let's be honest, our area is absolutely riddled with this shit, and it's only going to stop if we stand up and say it. The problem is it's so intimately linked with like the city, the football club, the culture. Like this is what traditionally we are as Geordies. It's indivisible, one and the same thing. So this kind of stuff, it's hard to talk about if you're going to talk about it and challenge it, because sometimes people get a bit lemon thinking you've shat on their mate like Newcastle United or something, or the culture or whatever. The true matter of the true fact of the matter is, I don't know what it is to be a Geordie anymore. I don't think there's a sense of collective identity, and you see a lot of this type of crap in the Evening Chronicle, where they'll run like we're so welcoming and all of this, and then the comments will be filled with like, we're so welcoming, and then the next article posters about asylum seekers and refugees, people should be welcoming, and it's just vile, and people are not seeing the disconnect here. So Geordies, good ones, going to start speaking up about this, because like this, That's just a madness to me. I just don't understand what happened to her. Seriously. So anyway, just a bit more on the well, I want to say the Gary Lineker thing. What it's actually about is refugees and asylum seekers. What it's not about is freedom of speech, but it's been dragged into a freedom of speech thing because of this fake culture war. Here's some people who are on the board of the BBC for no reason. Here's Richard Sharp, the chairman, former Goldman Sachs banker, close with Rishi Sunak at Goldman, a major Tory party donor, 400k. Board member of the right-wing think tank, the Centre for Policy Studies, and a former donation to the controversial Quilliam Foundation. The reason why some people say the Quilliam Foundation is controversial, do you know of somebody called Majid Nawaz, who he was the guy who was apparently de-radicalized Tommy Robinson, then they paid him money to go and be a speaker for Quilliam. Do you remember that? And he disavowed the ADL. There's some people have alleged that the Quilliam Foundation is some kind of like intelligence cutout. What I mean by that is like the Secret Services putting that forward. And the allegations surround Majid because I think it's alleged that he was an Islamist terrorist. He was, if I remember correctly, jailed in Egypt, and there he was tapped up to be intelligence asset. And I must stress that this is all allegations, but that is out there in the public domain. So, you know, look at it for yourself. So we're exploring the links here. So anyway, we'll go on. Tim Davie, Director General of the BBC, former PepsiCo executive. Davie stood as a councillor for the Conservative Party in Hammersmith, former Deputy Chairman of the Hammersmith and Fulham Conservative Party in the 90s. Was he? Oh, unbelievable. Yes, Nadels Doris, fascist Hellcat, allegedly. So I do have a soft spot for her in some mad way, though. It's weird. So she's tweeted this Spectator article, The Ignorance of Gary Lineker, right? Within it talks about like, oh, he's ignorant for using Nazi terminology. So this, anyway, is a previous tweet from Nadine Dorris about Momentum in 2018. Momentum demonstrated a motion against anti-Semitism, #Mars. Somebody put, she retweeted it. This is straight from the 1930s Nazi Germany rulebook. Momentum's behavior towards former Labour council leader and councillors. The reason I'm pulling this up is like everybody who's got a stake in the culture war, the fake culture war, that is, are popping up out of the woodwork like whack-a-mole. Doris, no exception. And there's always a tweet, there's always something, and there's always something to demonstrate the bad faith of quite a number of the people that we've referenced in this show alone and other shows. So we have another one from Doris here. Hold on a minute. Throw it up on the screen. Here she goes. Maybe she's what it is. Match of the day viewing figures sold by 500,000 with 2.5 million tuning in. This is from The Sun. Doris says maybe people just want to watch the footy and not listen to the commentators waffling on, stating the obvious week after week. It's a game of two halves, Gary. Maybe she should keep the commentary-free model going. It's a hit. Right. Just more bollocks. Because, I mean, I don't know if like 500,000 extra people tuned in because it was like a one in the eye for woke Gary Lineker or whatever. I'd suggest that it was wall to wall on every front page and every news item from the top all week, when they should have been talking about any amount of other things that are important to people's actual lives. That might have like led to brand recognition and viewing figures. Who knows? Maybe people just wanted to like further watch the freak show. Who knows? But what I do know is ghouls like Doris are seizing upon this to show that it's this whole like go woke, go broke thing, and just shut up. Here's another one. BBC employee, Lord Sugar. Many a true word spoken in jest, Corbyn. He's got a picture of Jeremy Corbyn sat next to Adolf Hitler when you're pictured at Nuremberg and claim you thought you were going to a car rally. So if Lineker can't be saying those things, but Lord Sugar, that was just given a pass through, was it? Alan Sugar, cheers, belter. But fuck Lineker too, and fuck all the centrists. Like Lineker in the week where he's gained another, 800,000 followers, right? Bringing it up to just under the 9 million. He's retweeting Alistair Campbell's Rest is Politics podcast and saying, I'm sticking to politics, Grace, listen as per, and retweeting another one. That's this Alistair Campbell here from The Guardian. Alistair Campbell had Iraq dossier changed to fit US claims. weapons of mass destruction in a year allegation halved original timescale after compilers told to compare contents with Bush speech from 2010 in The Guardian. From the Daily Mail, just to go from both sides of, well, it's not even really both sides, is it? The centre right and the far right is what we're saying. So anyway, Daily Mail, the proof that Campbell and Blair did lie about Iraq war, devastating secret evidence declassified from 12th of May 2011 in the Daily Mail. What the fuck, man, right? This is the problem with centrism, isn't it? It's like kind of, yeah, really not having the way refugees are being treated. But see this guy whose podcast I really like, right? Alistair Campbell, then let's all be jocular with that guy and just wave through all of the... Do you think that the Iraq war might have destabilized the Middle East at all and maybe has led to displacement of people, Gary? You want to like involve your thinking a little bit more. So you're putting yourself in with Alistair Campbell. But that's the crack, isn't it? I mean, the podcast he's referring to is The Rest is Politics, and it gives this veneer of like lively debate between him and Rory the Tory, Rory Stewart, who again, it is alleged is a MI6 asset. Strange that, isn't it? And why is Campbell like still being fated as some kind of like voice that people should be listening to? And it was well seen that the wheeled Campbell out, Labour that is, last week after they spent most of the start of the week saying that Gary Lineker was wrong. And then the second half of the week, he seems to have a bit of a relationship with him. And yeah, listen, do you honestly think, right, after Gary Neville's been tapped up by the Labour Party and they're basically using him, that they're not going to try and get Lineker in? Of course they are, man. Come on. I haven't seen Lineker saying much about the Labour Party during all of this, you know what I mean? Like, this is just nailed on, isn't it? And it seems to me that, like, in the next couple of years, and to be honest, if I was a Labour centrist ghoul, what I'll be doing is trying to tap these people up and getting them in, get as much like of this type of stuff as you can, because it taps into this like sort of like centrist fantasy football shit that they play like every once in a while. Well, here's my fantasy shadow cabinet. We'll have Gary Lineker as president of the world. We'll have Gary Neville as Minister for Sport and Telenoffs, and we'll have others. It's mad, man. Like, what we actually want is people who will use the levers of power to, and I know I say this all the time, to meet the needs of everybody living in poverty. Because the fact that like this is being talked about, and the reason I want to talk about this again is to impress this on everybody. It's wall to wall everywhere, and like, how can you get anything else out? I mean, in the midst of all of this, do you know that the Labour Party announced that they were not going to nationalise a few of the key services that they'd previously said they were going to? Cricket. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the fact that we're probably going to be jemmying older people out of their flats and sheltered accommodation after this cold snap. Who's going to be talking about that? Who's talking about we need filtration systems because have you seen the impacts that long COVID is having more and more, and nobody's talking about that because we're all in a collective state of delusion. And I get it. Like, I mean, look, my partner doesn't even watch this. You know what I mean? We were talking about it the other day, and she just can't handle it all. So I just feel like, you know, I'm just sitting here like I have to give a record of this until like it just becomes a bit cooler again, or people have got more headspace, and I don't know. I just don't know. But I talked to a few people. I talked to a lot of people, and it's the information that's out there at the minute is dark as the night, and a lot of people just haven't got the stomach for the fight anymore. So it's kind of a moment in sort of, I don't know, activism circles, but not even that, in the wider world, where there's a hell of a lot of people feeling hell of like just isolated and quite alone, like with all of this stuff. And I understand, like, when somebody like Gary Lineker comes along, it's like, oh, a bit of hope, grab onto that. But I've got a real problem with anybody who's just going to tell you to vote Labour, because it's evidentially bullshit. Go to the Should I Vote Labour playlist on the Cow Daily YouTube channel. If you're not on it now, youtube.com/Cow Daily. It's pretty clear that they're going to privatise the NHS with evidence like what they're up to, and will continue to do so. And I personally am currently feeling very alone with a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot of people do not want to accept what reality is, because what happens at the other end of that, I mean, well, there's less short-term hope, isn't it? And because the last few years have been the way that they've been for many of us, I can fully understand why people just want to bury their heads and whatever. I don't know what the answer is, and that's the thing. People want you to present this stuff and give answers. I don't have any. And I don't think that's my job, and I don't think people should be asking me for that. Go to the politicians who've let us down, but I guarantee you I'll be holding them accountable. And with your support, that's how it's going to happen. So if you want to do that, please go to patreon.com/cowdaily. Somebody slammed the door downstairs there. I really hope it doesn't pick up the mics and smashed your ears to bits. Sorry about that. Patreon.com/cowdaily. Also, if you want to make a one-off donation at work, links are in the description for your PayPal and that. Aye. Right, just a bit on this. Lineker, quote tweeting Piers Morgan like jocular, I'm doomed, laughy emoji. This is Piers Morgan, right? And this is the other side of this centrist arsehole that I've got a problem with. Like, you're amplifying Piers Morgan, like, not, and Alistair Campbell, two absolute rat bastards. So anyway, this is from Alistair Campbell's this is from Piers Morgan's Wikipedia page. So on 23rd of May 2012, Newsnight presenter Jeremy Paxman was a witness at the Leveson inquiry. He recalled a lunch with the Mirror editor in September 2002, at which Morgan outlined the means of hacking into a mobile phone. On the 28th of November 2012, the Channel 4 documentary Taking on the Tabloids, fronted by actor and phone hacking victim Hugh Grant, showed footage from a 2003 interview with Morgan by the singer and phone hacking victim Charlotte Church, during which he explained how to avoid answer phone messages being listened to by journalists. He said, you can access voicemails by typing in a number now. Are you really telling me that journalists aren't going to do that? Well, listen, as a journalist, I wouldn't dream of doing that. Like, and what you're saying is, like, dodgy people will do that, or actually people who work for the titles that he worked for. It goes on the 29th of November 2012, the official findings of the Leveson inquiry were released, in which Lord Justice Leveson said that Morgan's testimony under oath on phone hacking was utterly unpersuasive. He stated the evidence does not establish that Morgan authorized the hacking of voicemails or that journalists employed by the Trinity Mirror Group were indulging in this practice. What it does, however, clearly prove is that he was aware that it was taking place in the press as a whole, and that he was sufficiently unembarrassed by what was criminal behavior that he was prepared to joke about it. Sorry, I think that was my phone going off. Yes, it was. I don't want to buy that house or a house at all because I don't have the money. Anyway, so my point is with this Morgan stuff, right? You've got Lineker quote tweeting him, right? Like, just, it's just Piers. He's a bit of a dodge pop, but it's just good old Piers. When Piers, like, knew about what was going on at the time, this has been established and proven, and all of the other stuff that you've just seen there. So this wasn't when he was at the Mirror or any other paper, but this was the worst thing about the phone hacking scandal for me, which was Millie Dowler having a voicemail hacked. And it's got, in their own words, a family's agony. Bob Dowler, one would sincerely hope that News International and other media organizations would sincerely look very carefully at how they procure, how they obtain information about stories, because obviously the ramifications are far greater than just an obvious story in the press. Sally Dowler being pictured retracing their daughter's steps. How on earth did they know we were doing that walk on that day? And it just felt like such an intrusion into a really, really private grief moment. Sally says it clicked through on her voicemail, so I heard her voice, and it was just like, she's picked up the voicemail, Bob, she's alive. So here's the thing, right? I don't think Morgan was connected to that particular thing, but they've denied it, like a lot of other stuff, but also he's been caught on camera saying that he was fully aware that this was happening in the wider media organizations, right? So I wouldn't be retweeting these people personally, like, and I'm not holding myself up as like the principles guy, but I swear to God, right, I've got more principles than most of these mugs, because I just don't understand what world you're going to be all jocular with Alistair Campbell and Piers Morgan on your like 8.9 million reach Twitter account. because that is influence. And certainly at the moment, he's being lionized as something that I don't feel that he is whatsoever. Because when it came down to it, as we said last week, between 2015 and 2019, he actively used his influence to stop a government forming or a government being elected that would have there would have been safe legal route. It would have all been baked in and would have been done. And quite frankly, G.A. Bundy on Twitter, fuck centrists. I've quote tweeted it. It's hard to argue with this. Quote tweet people like him. Fuck centrists. Seriously. Just the last one. This is Labour's Jonathan Ashworth. Saul Staniforth put this out on Twitter this morning. It's from GMB. I definitely would not have endorsed the language that Gary Lineker used in the tweet, and I don't think anybody's defending that tweet. Lots of people are. That was on Good Morning Britain this morning. Just Labour doing like, well, they're just chasing their own tail after the way these ghouls went on over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, aren't they? No sympathy for them, and I'm enjoying it, to be quite honest with you. A few comments before we get off. Right. People are saying theirs was 7 minutes in, the notifications and all of that stuff. So Slaz is saying, I'll read this first because it's a Shira story. So I can put that up. Slaz is saying, I was in an Italian restaurant years ago waiting for a table with 3 pals. In walks Shira with his missus. He doesn't join the queue for a table and comes out the line, do you know how I am? #Bell. I've heard loads of stories like that, Slaz, and I know you, and I know you wouldn't make that up. So horrible, innit? Horrible. It's not what we're about as Geordies, is it? Zoe's saying, everywhere seems riddled with it. Even had to correct my mum at the weekend. That was heartbreak. She brought me up to be nothing like that. Strange, isn't it? And especially when you've been brought up to be nothing like that, like saying that from parents must hurt, mate. Yeah. And Zoe went on to say, every time I tell someone Labour aren't the saviours you're looking for, I get laughed at. Keep telling them. I mean, you know, we've got to provide some kind of opposition, don't we? So that's the one, innit? Enjoy your trip to Hertfordshire, Slaz. Thanks everybody for tuning in as well. And as I say, I'll be back with you to let you know what regular times will be broadcasting this week. Probably going to be either 10 or 10:30, and we'll stick for that until the sleeping pattern sorts itself out. Because, as I say, now it feels like nighttime. To me, it's mad. Absolutely mental. So thanks for tuning in. Go to patrun.com/cowdaily, link in the description for the PayPal, and just let people know that we're about. And also, as we've seen, if you can go to the community tab for all FB style written posts on youtube.com/cowdaily, we'll be migrating over to that. If you missed the start of the show, bit more of an explainer about what's went on and why the Facebook page is down as well. Check you later. Any decent reviews on Spotify, Apple Podcasts? We sound. Seriously, I'm so exhausted, and thanks for being here to help us get through this one. You'll know all about it when I get a decent night's sleep at 12. I'll be incorrigible. I had 1 7-hour one the night before my birthday, man, and I honestly felt like I was on speed. It was mental. But anyway, haven't done that for many years. Don't plan to do it again anytime soon. Tra.